Coffee cake. Originating in Central Europe in the 17th century, the name is a slight misnomer, as this cake doesn't actually have any coffee in it. Instead, it's a cake that's meant to be eaten with a cup of coffee. It's also found in popular culture, such as the hit sitcom Seinfeld.
Is that a
Drake's coffee cake.
wow? Where did you get that?
The Drake's coffee cake became a hit among busy caffeinated New Yorkers. The batter is more complex than a pancake batter, but is still somewhat simple. We'll also be learning how to make a crumble, which you can garnish on a variety of pastries and cakes. The moistness from coffee cake comes from the butter and Greek yogurt in our batter, as there will be plenty. Now, when baking any traditional cake, we want to aim for 350 degrees Fahrenheit, rarely more or less. When removing from the oven, always make sure to cool your cakes completely before slicing. When removing from the oven, always make sure to cool your cakes completely before slicing. This will allow the crumb to set and not become gummy. So with all that being said, let's begin by making our crumble. So to start, we'll affix our mixing bowl onto a damp cloth, then add in half a cup of brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, half a tablespoon of cinnamon, and 25 grams or 3 large knobs of unsalted butter. Using a whisk, I'll simply crush all of this butter into our mixture. You can also get in there with your hands and massage it in. Now the texture is completely up to you if you want it chunky for a nice crunch or fine for a more even crumble. We'll put that to the side and begin making our batter. In a large bowl, add 1 1/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We'll then give that a good whisk. And in a separate bowl, we'll combine our wet ingredients. So add 6 tablespoons or 85 grams of room temperature butter and 1 cup of sugar. Using an electric mixer, we'll beat this for a minute or so until it becomes a smooth paste like so. This process is called creaming, and don't be too worried if it looks like curdled cheese. We'll then add in 2 whole eggs at room temperature and continue to mix. An important step is to pause if you see a lot of batter at the sides of the bowl. Simply scrape it down and then continue. I'll add in half a tablespoon of vanilla, and finally we'll combine 1 cup of Greek yogurt. And there's our wet ingredients. Next, we'll add in our dry ingredients and gently fold that in until you see that all the flour has been absorbed. It might appear chunky at first, but keep mixing and the batter will eventually become smooth. We'll grease a square baking tin with a knob of butter, and this will ensure our cake doesn't stick to the pan once baked. Then pour in our batter. Again, remember to always use a silicone spatula when working with batters or purees. We'll even out the batter, then sprinkle on our crumble. I'll bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes or until a skewer inserted in the center comes out clean, absent of any wet batter. I'll let this cool for at least 30 minutes, then cut into equal square portions. And here's our beautiful coffee cake, a really moist crumb and a crunchy aromatic topping. And as you can see, super bouncy, and this is one of my all-time favorite desserts, so simple but yet so delicious. So that is a perfect example of a cake using all or most of the ingredients we outlined in our introduction to cakes and batters. Next up, we'll be making a strawberry shortcake where we'll be learning how to make a chiffon cake. See you there.